Welcome everybody. On behalf of Centro Cha, we want to welcome JCOD to the city of Long Beach. JCOD is part of LA County, and everybody knows how big LA County is, right? But what you probably don't know is Long Beach is the second largest city in the county. So as we talk about the whole entire LA County, 88 cities, school districts, the largest city in the county is Long Beach. I just wanted to take time to also thank our team, our staff, who works very hard every day, and most of you. Just want to thank you for being here, being in this space today to learn what's happening, in our city, the opportunities to bring more resources here, which you're going to learn about. You all know Centro Cha. We've been in this city for over 30 years, providing social services, reentry services, youth development services, immigration services for our community to ensure that they have a cultural affirming space to go to be able to connect with resources. And then we just are so happy and so ecstatic that this will become the future Latino Cultural Center. We're going to go to City Council next month. Centro Cha will be the operators of this space. And then Centro Cha, some of you have been to our office on Pine, but we're building out a larger space in North Long Beach, which will be our workforce reentry center. Yes.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much to Centro Cha for having us out here. I want to introduce JCOD to you all. Has anybody heard of us and the services that we provide? Awesome. One person, two people. Look out in the back. So I want to talk just a little bit about kind of who we are. So we are a 3-year-old county department. We've only been in existence for 3 years. The Board of Supervisors in LA County decided that services and support for justice-involved folks should not belong in the probation department or in the sheriff's department, that we need to create an alternative. And so the board created Justice Care and Opportunities Department. We serve 18 and over, folks that are justice-impacted, transition-age youth, as well as veterans, really vulnerable populations is who we serve. We have a sister department, Department of Youth Development, that serves 18 and under, right? So we serve 18 and over, they serve 18 and under. We do two major things, I will say. The first is we provide diversion, prevention, and reentry services. The reason that we're here tonight in Long Beach, there's a couple of reasons. One is to introduce ourselves and talk about the services that we provide. The other is to talk very specifically about our DOORS program. So we'll get to that in a moment. Right now, we are getting ready to launch virtual services here in Long Beach. Where we really would love your feedback as we get going is specifically related to what services you all feel are not being provided currently for like a permanent brick and mortar site. Kind of like what you see here, kind of like what is set up here. We'll get into specifics about what our DOORS site does and is, but that's really where we want feedback from you all. What's missing? What are the services that are still needed? This is huge. This is our Justice Connect Support Center. We launched this in October 2023. This is effectively a call center, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Anything that you need, if you're justice impacted, you can call this number. If you need a ride to court, if you need a ride to see your probation officer, if you need a ride to services, you can call this number. We'll send a car. We have a couple taxi services that we contract with. We'll send a car and we'll hook you up with a ride. This also opens the door to all of our other services that are available. So if somebody needs a bed, if somebody needs a workforce program, this is the number to call. So this is our independent pretrial services. We are in 3 courthouses right now, Antelope Valley Courthouse, Compton, and Long Beach. We are slowly sort of assuming the pretrial role and pulling that away from probation. Our approach to pretrial is really service focused. So if somebody goes to court and they're in need of, again, workforce support, care management services, a bed, we're there in the court. We have navigators stationed throughout the court who are there to just hook people up with services who may need them. This is worth talking about because it's awesome. This is our LA County Training Center. This is formerly Camp Gonzales. It's a juvenile probation camp. In like 2017, population was low enough that probation was able to close that camp. We have now reopened it as a residential vocational training center. So the dorm is completely renovated. The classrooms are completely renovated. You wouldn't even know that it's a detention center when you go there today. And we train, right now we're training 35 women to become wildland firefighters. So it's a 9-month training program. There's also 20 additional folks that are training to become EMTs. And those are all women as well. So right now we're running 2 cohorts of all female, because frankly, I don't think we're mature enough to handle men and women in a residential program at the same time. And they're awesome. Like they're doing some really gnarly stuff. It's really exciting. So we'll keep going. This is our care management program. This is a program that's already operating here in Long Beach. Last year we served well over 700 people just in the city of Long Beach. You guys know in the county that our service planning areas kind of overlap, so the data is not as clean, but what I could pull is that we knew that last year we were serving over 700 people in the city of Long Beach through our care management services. And this is sort of comprehensive wraparound services. We partner with organizations who hire community health workers, peer support specialists, folks with lived experience who are on the ground providing like person-to-person services all day long, including if you have like a physical medical issue, they'll run you to the doctor, to the clinic, something like that. Wait until the appointment's over. We've had really great outcomes here. A recent evaluation showed that 72% of participants were not rearrested if they completed this program, which is pretty remarkable. Oops, okay. Some of these are really awesome, and I just have to talk to you about them for a second. Warm Landing Place, so that's a really gross, like old bail bonds building that we bought. This is right across the street from Men's Central Jail. We are building a 3-story complex there that will serve as a triage center for anybody who's exiting the downtown jail complex. And again, we'll have emergency beds there. So if you need a bed for the night or a couple of nights, there's gonna be a washer and dryer, there's a kitchen, supportive services. It's effectively just triaging folks who are coming directly out. We know what this area looks like. It's gonna be this beautiful building in an otherwise, I think it's fair to say not beautiful space, right? This is gonna be really, really wonderful. So we go to the board next week, actually, to sign the construction contract so we can demo this thing, and hoping to get Supervisor Solis like on a bulldozer or something like that. So, so this is the rendering of what it's going to look like. We have a conceptual design next. 3 floors, big atrium here. Right, this is Vignes, right? Twin Towers is literally right there. And so rooftop garden, it's going to be so rad. We're really, really excited about this. Next. This is our workforce program. All of our workforce programming, just to say, it's worth mentioning, everybody gets a stipend because a lot of folks can't just go to a free unpaid internship, right? And every service, every program also comes with like wraparound services as well. So it's not just a job training program. It's a stipend, supportive services. And then a job at the end of the training program as well. Here's some areas that we work in. These slides, like these specific sectors, are ever changing. We are constantly getting dirt bags. Anybody know dirt bags here in Long Beach? We're going to be partnering with them to do a workforce training program. They're like Hit My Ride, but motorcycles. Next, this is our power program. So this is housing specifically for women. These sites are wonderful because we have women who are housed with their children. One of our housing sites had 3 generations, so grandma, mom, and child. So there's flexibility in these programs to allow for that, which is really, really wonderful. This is a diversion program that we operate out of court. This program's awesome. 91% of graduates from this program did not receive a new criminal case. This is something that we're continuing to expand We're in 7 courthouses now. So I mentioned this already. In the city of Long Beach, we have 20 organizations that have actually gone through our incubation academy, and they're here operating in the city. And then our Care First Community Investment, which is our next slide. So this is, again, hundreds of millions of dollars. There's over 400 grantees. We are in the process of doing a solicitation to get more money out, so pay attention to that. There'll be a grant opportunity in July for folks to sign up for. And there are 22 CFCI grantees operating in the city of Long Beach. Over $15 million has been invested in the city alone through these grants. So there's folks out here and amongst us that are doing this work, and they're able to do it because of in part, because of the grant that they received from JCOD from the county. Our comms team who's here hosts a Justice Impacted Individual, Justice Involved Individual panel. They can tell you more about it, but it's a really awesome opportunity to just hear from folks about the services that we're providing. Sort of similar to what we're doing tonight. We go there usually with a couple of topics to discuss, and then we just get feedback from folks who are either receiving the services or are justice impacted, who can tell us, hey, there's no way that's gonna work, right? Like, these are the things that we wanna hear. Or, hey, I experienced your services, this is what you need to do, make modifications to it. It's a really, really wonderful exchange that we go through on a regular basis. I wanna introduce one of our team members, Savannah Walker. She's gonna talk us through some of the specifics about doors.
Hello. Thank you to Adam, and again, thank you to our Centro Cha partners. I'm here to address, why are you guys here? So you kind of sat and endured and saw all these beautiful programs and all these numbers and all these graphs, and what does that mean for you? Essentially, JCOD is here, one, to introduce ourselves and say hello, but also two, to say that we are coming to your neighborhood. Though we are already here, I know that we have some CFCI partners, some Incubation Academy partners, but we are coming to serve the citizens and the residents of Long Beach through our program called DOORS. Oh, can you guys hear me better now? DOORS stands for Developing Opportunities and Offering Reentry Solutions. It acts as a one-stop shop for system-impacted individuals and their families, meaning you don't necessarily have to be system-impacted yourselves to benefit from our services. It acts as a one-stop shop for resources across the board. So whereas someone who was formerly incarcerated, or even someone who's just a part of the community, you have to go to one place for housing support. You have to go to another place for employment support. You got to go to another place to get your documents, and so forth and so forth. This building, this program acts as a one-stop shop. You can get an array of those services and more in one location. We have 2 existing locations already, one in Los Angeles on the corner of Vermont and King, and another one in the Antelope Valley, culminating in about 12,271 plus referrals across the board. And that means that we have dealt with at least 12,000 people saying, or 12,000 incidents saying, hey, I need housing. Hey, I need a new job. Hey, I'd like to be reunited with my kids. You can go to the next slide. So what do we plan to do in Long Beach? You can hit the next slide. First of all, here's our team, the people who are going to be serving you. You just heard from our Deputy Director, Adam Bettino. We have Ronnie Thomas, who is the Division Director of our site-based programs. Derek Rutledge, who is unfortunately not here, Senior Program Manager, and then Elizabeth Gomez, Site-Based Programs Director. And that cutie over there, that's me. I will also be your Senior Program, I got a little bit. But I'll be also part of the team that are serving you all. And you can see some of our LA and AV folks. So to give it a quick overview, DOORS provides an array of comprehensive supportive services to address the barriers to reentry for justice-involved individuals, particularly those on adult felony supervision, their families, and the community. Such services include, but are not limited to housing, employment, legal aid, education support, mental health assessment and linkage, substance use counseling, and health and healing through the arts. These services are provided in a welcoming environment by an array of our community partners, and we'll see later on in these slides how we effectively plan to enter into this community. You can hit the next slide. These are our services in the Antelope Valley, LA, and AV. Though they are they are the same program. Sometimes programs highlight and have an emphasis or a specialty that the one office doesn't have. And I think in AV, it's really the work that we do with our veterans. Before moving into Long Beach, we truly have been assessing and analyzing how these last two programs and their locations, how they've been operating. And we just put these some of these numbers again because we love our graphs, we love our numbers, really just to highlight the type of information that we're collecting and monitoring so that you can know that we are moving into Long Beach from an informed point of view. We are taking into account the number of referrals that we're getting, days to close a referral, meaning just because you call us and you ask for a referral, we're tracking how long it takes you to get a successful outcome. As we enter through our Doors program here in Long Beach, we are prioritizing 3 service categories. 1, employment and job readiness training. 2, housing support. 3, legal aid and advocacy. These 3 will be found in our other 2 programs, and also while doing community outreach here in Long Beach, that these were the 3 most requested services across this program. You can go to the next slide. So we plan to enter into Long Beach with a 3-phased approach. Our first phase will be virtual services. We employed this same model when we were launching our Antelope Valley office. Due to a number of reasons, we just don't have necessarily a brick and mortar here yet, but the community-based organizations that we will be contracting to do our virtual services, each of those 3 do have a brick and mortar in Long Beach, and if necessary, can see participants in person. After our virtual services are due to start very soon. We are in the contracting process right now with our wonderful community-based organizations and hope to be in contract execution by the end of March. Ideally allowing us to accept clients as early as April, meaning once we are up and running, especially virtually, we will be accepting referrals. You'll be able to reach out to community-based organizers that we've partnered in this work to start accessing our funds. Next, we would like to continue operating the Doors program through an RV or mobile unit that would essentially be a street-level, street-based service model. And that would ideally operate out of like an RV or a trailer, but again, we're kind of a little bit far away from that, but that is our intention. And then moving also our 3rd and final phase into a physical space. That is essentially our plan. Yeah, but the most exciting thing is we're almost here. This is I really feel like a good indication that we are here, that we're trying to touch our community. We're also going to open it up to questions in a little bit because we also want to hear from you in the sense of what would you like to see out of this program? Yes, we did our fancy numbers and you showed us graphs, but we do understand that Long Beach likes to be served by Long Beach. And you are the only ones who know what you need. And we are constantly at JCOD trying to refine and hone in on how we can best deliver services. The last thing we want to do is show up and tell you all what you need. We actually rather hear from you what it is that you need and be able to implement that and have that be reflected in our service model. So that being said, I think we have talked enough. If we can open the floor for questions, whether you have questions about our program, Doors, which will be kind of our first step into a site-based program here in Long Beach, or our other programs that Adam had an opportunity to highlight earlier on in our presentation, but the floor is now yours.
The last thing that we wanted to do was sit in our offices downtown or wherever and make decisions for the city of Long Beach. You all are here, you're on the ground. Many of you are already doing this work. So we want to hear from you and understand how we can support the work that's already happening.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being here. My name is Elisa Gomez, and I am the site-based programs director. And I opened up the Doors Antelope Valley program in November of 2024. So I have a lot of experience working with the community. I actually worked 25 years in grassroots organizations and now I'm with the county. So I'm very privileged to be in the position that I am. And I thank you all for being here and really want to hear from all of you what type of services or what type of activities you would like to see from our programs to be able to help our community. So thank you for the opportunity to hear your voices. So I'll introduce Ronnie and he can tell you a little bit about himself.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello, everyone. My name is Ronnie Thomas. I am the Division Director overseeing our site-based programs for Justice Care Opportunities Department. I would like to thank Centro Cha. I would like to thank the City of Long Beach, the Suite District 4, for allowing us to be here. We are very dedicated to this program and to supporting this community, and we are dedicated to hearing your voices, hearing what you have to say and what you feel is best for your community and the needs that you have. Every community is different, and we acknowledge that. And we're very thankful to be here today, to be in concert, and to hear what you have to say. So, and I'll turn it over back to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. So now it's all about you.
So I just want to take the opportunity to thank Centro Cha for actually helping me, assisting me to become self-sufficient with the resources they provided. Jessica, Junior, Robert, Jocelyn, that put up with me most of the time. But you guys were phenomenal with providing the necessary resources. I was incarcerated for the term of 30 years, so everything was new for me, transitioning into the community. So, and I believe one of the challenges, I want to thank you for the stipends as well, right? Because it helped me assist me started from a bus pass, 30-day bus pass, so I can meet my parole responsibilities, job search, travel from Wilmington all the way to Pino here for the office to actually take part of the anger management classes and the workbooks that were provided to us. But I believe one of the challenges that I've seen is the community is people requiring higher level of care. Right, and oftentimes, the recidivism rate for people that have been long-term incarcerated is lower than people that are repeat offenders, short-term offenders. So, with that being said, putting emphasis, you got having a wonderful program. So, as an organization, how do you intend to address the people requiring higher level of care and repeat offenders? Right, because it's very challenging. I work as an SUD counselor. I work with Project Kinship in Orange County. It's the same struggles, right? Trying to help people that are unwilling to help themselves. It can become frustrating and draining, right? So, bring what you bring to the table. How do you intend to address the problem?
Thank you for the question. And now, JCOD, we do not work with high acuity offenders, so individuals that are needing a higher level of care. We will refer them to either the Department of Mental Health or the Department of Health Services Office of Diversion and Reentry. Because if they are a repeat offender, then they probably already have a case with the Office of Diversion and Reentry that has clinicians as well as the surrounding support and wraparound services to support those high utilizing individuals. But JCOD, we work with those individuals who may have been offenders, but they do not have the mental health requirements as someone who we will refer to the Department of Mental Health. So that's where our clientele differs. JCOD, we deal with the everyday person compared to those individuals who may need a higher level of care.
I was saying I just been a little tired. Been up since 3 a.m. I got a job as a truck driver thanks to Centro Cha that put me in that funded a college for me to take the courses for it. A year ago, and that helped me. As far as your question, man, when I got out after 32 years, I didn't know what to expect. I expected to see everything the same thing, but nothing's the same. So that in itself was scary. Who do I go to? Where do I start? Through parole, we went to this this fair, huh? Well, it's embankment, you know, for all the resources that were able to help us. I mean, I got a lot of them. I called a lot of them. I waited. Didn't get no answers back or nothing like that. But when I came across my boy Robert Sala and Rafa, I mean, they introduced me to Centro Cha. And right after that, I mean, I started working with them. They started giving me the curriculum. What helped me with that is that it was asking more about myself. Like, how do I start? How do I feel about myself? Not necessarily worrying about anybody else or the resources are gonna help me. I mean, it was just be me, all me. I mean, my will to wanting to succeed and not giving up. Because to be honest, after being down so long, I mean, I at times my mind like to just do, because you know what, the hell with this, you know, I mean, this ain't gonna be easy, ain't nobody gonna help. This everybody's out for themselves. I mean, but in reality, is what you put in. I work with Centro Cha. They committed, I committed, and eventually they put me into the college that I went to, CIT. Man, I ended up going to what, like 3-5 months, something like that, and then I came out. I got certified as a heavy equipment operator and a truck driver. I got my CDL, which is Class A. I mean, I just recently, for the first time in my life, bought a brand new car. I mean,
That's right.
see, and these are achievements that I gave myself the opportunities when I was younger. I went the wrong way and I gave up on myself. And I lost all these opportunities. But today, it's never too late. I mean, I'm giving myself these opportunities. Just in December, I was able to fund my own money to go to this class. Now I'm certified to do epoxy floors. You know what I mean? So that's another skill. And I'm gonna keep going because it's encouraging, especially when I have people like Jessica, Robert Salas still checking up and seeing how I am and where I am. And it gives me like great incentive to, you know, keep going and say, you know what, man, I do got people behind me. People do care about what I'm doing. And just them telling me how proud they are and just, that's an affirmation of everything that I'm doing. And it feels good. And like I said, sky's the limit and I ain't stopping.
Thanks for sharing. Wow, congratulations. All right, so the next question is, looking back, what life circumstances or challenges do you think that contributed to your involvement in the justice system? Who can answer that question for me?
My name is Librado. I'm Junior. I'm a case manager for Centro Cha.
Hi, Junior.
I believe that prior to my incarceration, we didn't have no programs. There was no programs for us. I'm a repeated offender myself. When my friend right here, Rafa, spoke about the what was that you said? Who?
High level care.
The high level care. Those of us that I believe that started prior to me picking up this 32 to life sentence that I served. The reason why I say that is because I had nobody to turn to. I was highly active in gangs, drugs, criminal activity, you name it, I was involved in it. And I believe that if there was something such as JCOD, Centro Cha, all these other orgs, man, it's amazing that they're here today. That's why when I talk to my clients, my participants, I put a lot of emphasis, man, take advantage of the programs, dude, take advantage of it. You know, this is something, you know, that I didn't have. That is something we didn't have for those of us that are older, you know, and for me, I believe that if I had someone that was there, a case manager that really cared about an individual and cared about helping an individual prosper, I think I would have never picked up that life sentence. I believe that I wouldn't have. I just needed the proper guidance. I needed, the psychiatrist, probation department, parole officers. They didn't know. They couldn't understand where I was coming from. They didn't walk that walk. They didn't talk that talk. They didn't live the lifestyle that I lived. So when they would tell me something, I would look at them and like, you can talk to your blue in the face. I'm not going to pay no mind to you because you don't know how I feel. You don't know the struggles, and we struggle. I come from a one-parent home, so I seen everything. I seen drugs. I seen gangs. I seen abuse, all kinds of stuff growing up, and that's something that what I would like to see from all the orgs together, right? Is for those that are incarcerated now, that they have, that the families, that they have somebody to go to, an organization or some people to go talk to and say, hey, my son's messing up in school. My daughter, she's over here, messing around with a bunch of other girls and they're over here in the alley hanging out, doing whatever they're doing or whatever. I would like to see something like that because though that's our future. Our kids today is our future of tomorrow. And we need to help them, especially those kids that are out there, right, struggling like I did, or like I had been, and not having a voice, or they're too scared, to speak or whatever. Their mom's locked up or their dad's locked up. I went away when my kids were 8 years old and 9 years old, and now my daughter is out here homeless, talking to herself and all that. My son's serving a 52-year to life sentence for a gang-related murder. So I wasn't out here for them, but they didn't have nobody neither. They didn't have nobody to go to. And it's just the struggles out there. The struggles out there, and we need more of the organizations to pay attention to the families that are suffering. You know what I mean? And hey, what I like to say though, right, is that I struggled coming out, like homeboy said right there, right? Coming out after 31 years, yeah. I didn't know, I was scared. I was so scared to come out here. I was paranoid, very paranoid, because everything changed. In 31 years, everything changed. Someone told me about Centro Cha, and then they told me about Jessica. I said, what? They got a place over here, let me go check it out. I went and I met Robert, right? And Robert helped me, and then next thing you know, I'm going through the programs, they helped me. Rental assistance, even when I was in a transitional program, they were doing something with the rent over there or whatever. And I kind of went behind in the rent, right? And I went to Jessica, to where I need help, Jessica. And she helped me, they assisted me. You know what I mean? But the struggle, it was scary to be out here after 31 years to see what we see out in the streets today. That scared the heck out of me. And then, I was working for the railroads, and then I was offered a job with Centro Cha, and I said, man, I don't have to get dirty no more. I can be clean. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go, I'll work. So I accepted the offer, and I've been with them ever since, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Junior.
Absolutely. Adam, thank you so much. Librado, thank you so much. Got a comment? Yes. Can you have the mic, please?
You guys give me the mic, you got messed up.
Yes, sir.
However, I was wanted to sit at the table, and I think this is time for us to step up as a community, right? Oftentimes, we just sit back on the sidelines, and most of us just complain about what could be different or about the problems instead of looking for solutions, right? So I think this is a platform for us to step up, and advocate for ourselves in the community, right? So I just want to thank you for the platform. Well, my experience with Centro Cha is they bring people on with life experience, people I can relate with, right? Growing up, there was plenty of people actually offered extended help, but the help didn't look like I expected it, right? Oftentimes from authority figures, right? People that I couldn't relate with, identify with. So it was challenging for me, especially when I didn't even understand how I felt about myself, right? Lack of emotional intelligence, right? I was afraid to admit that I was scared, right? I was afraid to say that something wasn't right at home. And I was forced to find sanctuary in the street. And the community labeled me as being a miscreant, a lowlife, a thug, whatever it might be. that I find it safer to be out on the street than being at home. Right, it was a volatile upbringing, being around my abusive father, right? Anything would just take him out like walking in eggshells. I didn't like that feeling. So my escape was the streets. And that's the thing about it, I came to understand by myself. And even though I adapted these characteristics, this maladaptive behavior, it gave me a false sense of confidence, right? So when people try to invalidate my experiences, validate my feelings, I just felt turned off. Oh, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't feel like that. Right? If somebody hits me, bullies me, I thought it was perfectly normal to react with violence, right? Because violence became a voice. When I asked people to leave me alone, they didn't listen. But the moment I started learning about violence, well, people pay attention now. Right? So when people told me that I was wrong, I didn't understand the concept. Right? Because I was just thinking about the now. I wasn't thinking about tomorrow. Nothing's promised for tomorrow. That's been my life experience, especially growing up in the AIDS and the crack epidemic. It was challenging. Right? So I just want to say thank you for Centro Cha for actually bringing people that can relate with, and other people that I couldn't necessarily relate with, right? Because they showed me different behaviors that I want to emulate, that I want to incorporate to my person I choose to be today. Like Adam over here, I see him, like, okay, I want to look fancy as well, right? So it just encouraging building that confidence, self-esteem, right? I do belong. We all belong, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity. We come into community because at a young age, I discovered I didn't feel part of the community. So when I didn't feel part of the community, I harmed the community. And I think that's the organizations that are actually either coming to light, not coming forward. They're bringing people from my walk of life and people from different walks of life to come in this community and investing in that. So I just want to thank you for all the hard work that you do. Thank you for everybody for listening and tolerating me. And I can keep on going, but I don't believe it was time. But thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Okay, so what I think I've heard so far, what we need here in the city of Long Beach, right? We need culturally affirming places and staff who could understand where people are coming from. We've heard this over and over again from our folks that come to Centro Cha, that they got referred to a psychiatrist or somebody that, is supposed to be helping them with, their trauma and their hurt. And actually that became more traumatizing to them because now they went to somebody who didn't understand their culture, who didn't understand where they came from. And not everybody needs medication. They need the support to be able to hear the challenges and the culture and background where they came from, right? Because we talked about, family that happens in, families that are abused, right? We see domestic violence. Sometimes in our culture, that's almost like, oh, wow, yeah, well, that's what happens, because we see that a lot in our families and in our culture. And so people don't want to talk about that. And when they do, then they feel like, oh, well, I'm giving my family, I'm kind of betraying my family to talk about what happens in the household, right? But that's traumatizing to a young boy, to a young girl growing up seeing their parents fight, right? And so how do you deal with that? But when you go to psychiatrists or therapists who don't understand that, who don't even understand the culture, they just feel like they just created more harm to them because they didn't understand them. What I heard was that we need, intensive services for the wives, for the husbands, for the parents, for the children of folks who are returning back home. I heard that we need strong prevention and intervention in the programs so we don't have recidivism or those young men and women are not entering the justice system in the first place, right? So building out that ecosystem in our communities, like parks, like community centers, where kids can go to and have positive activities, right? I heard stipends and work experience helps. We cannot expect folks to go out to a 2-month, 3-month, week-long training, whatever it is that they choose to go get a certification in and go do that training without being paid. We know that that is successful. You have to pay them training dollars while they're going through the training, stipends, transportation, and also clothing.
I didn't know which way to turn. I started cleaning out the BMO Stadium, the Rose Bowl Stadium, pressure washing it with the little opportunities that I was given. I just recently received a job at an aerospace company working for Carlton Forge Works.
That's right.
Going to course of like 4 months in. I have a 3-month newborn. Nothing's easy in life. Everybody here matters. Everybody here is important. Robert, everybody, Junior, my guy Oscar over there, my twin later. But honestly, man, it took everybody, and it's gonna take everybody here in these chairs. You know, it's gonna take all of us. Everybody you see sitting around you might not look like that right now, but later, we all gonna be here if you focus. You know, and it's all it takes is us. You know, and my little apprentice, you guys had a picture of him up front. You know, he helped on one of your projects, boss. He was one of the little apprentices there, and I had to burn him. He said there was too many people, so brought me up here. You know, so I had to do it one time. You know, thank you, boss. Thank you guys. Thank Robert, Jocelyn, everybody behind the scenes. We haven't seen, nobody has seen me. You know, maybe even enter the spot, and it got me all shaky. Why you got me like that? No, but it's real life stuff. It's real life stuff. There's nothing that I wouldn't say. We grew up all in the same areas. One side of the bridge or the other, you know. But honestly, we know exactly how the water runs in these places, and we need to get it run a little clean water, like, you know, a little cleaner rivers, something for our daughters. I'm a father of 3 girls, you know, so I gotta be smooth, be light, and tread lightly and move forward, think positive, and all we got is us, you know. So you guys showed me that, you know. So I thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for being brave. Speaking. Anybody else?
Hi, you guys. We want to hear from you.
It's your time. Your time. Hey, I'm with it, hon.
I'm a little shy. My name's Alex. I've been coming here for Centro Cha. Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Alex from Centro Cha. Sorry, I'm a little shy. I've been coming here to Centro Cha since I was a little kid. Probably like 6 years old. I was into, you know, dumb stuff out here in the streets of Long Beach. I didn't have a dad, so it was tough on me to become, you know what I mean? Growing up as being a man. So Centro Cha helped me out. The thing I'm trying to say right now is that they helped me out since I was in high school. And how my friend had said over there, he has 3 kids. He's doing his best. You know what I'm saying? I have a child of 1, and it was a struggle for me. You know what I mean? It was a struggle for me, and it's hard. It's hard to growing up. You know what I mean? It's out here in the streets of Long Beach. You know, it's hard, and I have a child of 1, and the thing I'm trying to say is that I love Centro Cha. You know what I mean? I love Centro Cha. Cha helped me out so much. You know what I mean? And also that I want my son growing up to this. You know what I mean? I want my son. I don't want you guys to close down Centro Cha. I want you guys to keep on helping them, you know, help them out. You know what I mean? Because they helped me out when I was, you know, in high school till now. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to be too emotional right now, you know. But
It's okay.
just that how Junior said, you know what I mean? He's a very good guy, you know what I mean? He teaches, you know, he teaches me a lot of things, you know? And I'm trying to teach my son that, you know what I mean? I want Centro Cha and you guys, thank you for coming from you 3 hours away, you know what I mean? Oh, okay. I want you guys to keep on helping this out, you know what I mean? I want my son to be in the community, you know? I'm happy that Jessica said this location is gonna be, you know what I mean, our location, you know? And I want my son to come here, because there's a park, you know what I mean? I want my son to come here, be safe, and people can understand him, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say, you know, like, you know, but I'm a little shy, but yeah, I appreciate you guys, you know, I really do, and I'm trying to look for help, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's hard for, you know, my mom, you know what I mean? Like, you know, being single and everything, and it's like, we need rent, you know what I mean? We need rent help, you know, we need clothes, you know what I mean? Like, this clothes, Centro Cha helped me out, you know what I mean? Like, I try to keep it as long, you know what I mean, as possible, trying to look nice, you know what I mean? But yeah, I personally need, like, you know, rent assistant, you know what I mean? Everything. So, Yeah, well, I don't know what else to say, so yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. So hopefully the other guys in Centro Cha get up and say something, you know what I mean? So I hope so. So
Yes.
all right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we heard is we need Centro Cha. We need rental assistance, clothing assistance. That's what helps, and rapidly, because folks need that right away. And then, of course, we have to put that emphasis on rent. People are rent burdened. The amount of people that have to pay for rent is incredible. And so,
We're one paycheck away from being homeless.
yes.
Yeah, I want to highlight on that note. Ronnie and the team are working actively around like setting up a food pantry at our door sites. We have some clothing assistance on the way. Actually, we have a meeting next week with somebody that's going to donate a fair amount of that. So again, we're trying to build out. Yes, there's the sort of the formal services. You can come and do an intake, go get you a job and all of that, but there's also every other supportive service you can imagine. We're going to provide for you in the site, right? Anything that we can, even if it requires that, hey, we don't have it here, but we're going to make a referral. We don't have it here, we're going to call Jessica. Whatever it happens to be that the person needs, we're there to support folks. I know there's a question there.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Gary. Excuse me if I'm really nervous right now. But since everybody's sharing their story, I want to share my story, how Centro Cha changed my life and the impact that I'm making now with the work that I do. So I started off in an abusive home, in and out of foster homes, in lockdown facilities. At age 13, I ran away. My probation officers found me. I came back. I was a lost person. I was doing drugs, alcohol. At 16, I found Centro Cha, and they really helped me with changing my life around. They got me certified in different things. I attended a lot of their life skill workshops that, really the information that they shared with me, that they taught me, it really did make an impact, and I carry that with me to this day at 35 years old. At 19, I made a big mistake. I got a felony. I had a lot of misdemeanors. They helped me with the Prop 47, expunging my case and sealing my juvenile record. But I was still going through a lot of things. I was being homeless. My mom was kicking me out almost every day. But I kept coming back. Because they kept supporting me. Jessica, was giving me an opportunity to come back, even though I would, they would set me up with things and I wouldn't go. She still gave me the opportunities to come back multiple times. And through that, I was able to change my life. They got me a security guard, caregiving. I got certified in all those things. I was 19, making really good money with the felony. And then, I got expunged. So then I moved, changed careers here and there. And then when I finally turned 28, she gave me an opportunity to come to work at Centro Cha. I didn't know anything. And then I picked everything up. And now she's giving me an opportunity to work at Cabrillo High School doing safe passage. And so now I get to talk to a lot of kids that, relate to me. I relate to them. Also, they're on drugs, homeless, just all kinds of problems. And I'm so thankful that she's giving me the opportunity to be there for those kids, so now I can give back, and so I just want to share my story. How Centro Cha helped me. And I'm a living experience of these programs do help, so we need these kind of programs out there for kids who do not feel supported, who do not feel seen. We need to let them know that we're here and we're gonna help them all the way.
Thank you.
So I know Adam mentioned earlier that Centro Cha is funded under the CFCI program. And so what that county funds actually helps us here in Long Beach is for our Safe Passages program on the west side. We have a lot of, gang activity, a lot of elements in that area where children don't feel safe going to and from school. So Danny, raise your hand. And then Valerie's not here. We have another person, and then also Cindy, who oversees our community violence intervention and prevention program. She's our manager of our program. You know, every day they're out there, 5 days a week, rain or shine, ensuring that those kids are getting to and from school safely. They're also, man, you don't want to come up against them with the big old fights sometimes that they have to separate girl fights, guy fights, but more girl fights. And they're out there, you know, separating the kids, and I'm talking about a mob of kids. But, you know, they have reduced the violence at Cabrillo High School and Stevens like over 50% since they've been there. And so that the district loves them, and so thank you for the contract that we get from CFCI to do that. All right, we had a question.
Hey guys. I would like, as far as some things I'd like to see with the DOORS program coming out here, the CBI, supporting them with the youth to get some type of more support so that they can direct the youth to the DOORS program, direct them to that place so that they have that place, like Junior was saying, to go to and letting them know, making that part of their MO, not just protecting the kids, but also saying, hey, you know, there's this program out here, let's direct you to it, let's go to it. So I'd like to see, you know, a little more partnership with that. And also, if we could create a partnership possibly with the Department of Motor Vehicles, and where they came out, like how they come to the fairs and they do the IDs on the spot. You know, maybe they come to the DOORS program 2 days a week, and Mondays and Tuesdays you can come get your ID there. You don't have to go to DMV, you don't have to travel and stuff like that. And then the other thing is possibly making a partnership with, I don't know, what's called City Hall of Records or whatnot, for people to like get their birth certificates, like right there at the DOORS program. Every Monday and Friday you could come there and get your documents there, because I found with some of our clients, sometimes just the navigation to the place is hard. Like, this bus and that and this. If it wasn't for their phones, they wouldn't know what to do. And so I think that'd be a good, if you guys could create that type of partnership where they came in and knew we're helping these people, and we're not going to put so many barriers in the way, and they could just come get it done there. That would be really cool.
Thank you for the information. Couple of things, just so you know, our DOORS programming is for 18 and over. There is another partner organization that does programming for youth, but our DOORS programming is for 18 and over, just to make a clarification for that. At our current DOORS programs with our brick and mortar services, we do have DMV waivers where folks can get a DMV waiver right there and on the spot. We also have process where people can get their birth certificates for free as well. So we have those services readily available. Because we are going to be providing virtual services, we can definitely work with our partner organizations that are going to be funded, which are 3. And we could definitely work with them and let them know what the process is so that they can have those services at their locations. Because the 3 organizations that we're going to be working with will have brick and mortar facilities where folks can come in and get services. So we will have all of those services readily available for folks to have access to those services.
Good evening, my name is Johnny. I grew up over here on the west side.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yay yay.
Growing up in a domestic violence home, you know, that really it really impacted my life, right? It also taught a lesson to me growing up that I needed to handle my business with violence, and brought results. You know, I impacted myself by making a bad decision. Recently turned 18. Made gun violence. I became the nuisance of the city. You know, and I went in and did a life sentence. Did 31 years. Recently came home, and I think the things that I immediately thought that I was going to hit the ground running, right? That didn't happen. I came home to a lot of house problems, right? So to say, wanting to do extras. I couldn't really map it out in my head and how I can help my family. I don't know if she wants me to talk about this, but you know, there were situations that happened in the home where my daughter became affected by violence as well. You know, she's still dealing with the aftermath of it. But Centro Cha, I've come to you guys for a lot of help. You know, my case manager over there is not only my case manager, he's my life coach. You know, I vet everything to him to figure things out, and he tends to calm me down all the time. And I appreciate him. You know, I appreciate Robert when he's got an open ear for me. You know, Jessica for also helping me out to pay my bills when I need to get it. You know, I lost my job. But however, I think the impact when it comes to stuff like this is when it really hits home, and especially your own child. You know, you feel some kind of way, right? You feel helpless, right? Because you want to come out to the society and do better. Again, Jessica, I thank you when you call me to these events, because for me, it's all I want to do is make that living amends, get back to the city, and be a positive role model in the city. However, you know, there's situations that are going on right now that, you know, people need legal assistance, right?
Absolutely.
And child services. That's not offered in Long Beach no more. It's not offered like it was offered back in my days. Now, you know, we're not a family of money. You know, we can't just fork out money. You know, we've already done that in the past when I was caught up in the system. You know, come from immigrant parents. You know, they get manipulated by these lawyers. You know, my mom got worked out at $44,000 just to free her son. And, you know, we tend to be standoffish when we got to go get a lawyer. So, you know, especially when you're trying to get your child back. It's sometimes, you know, those old negative thoughts come back in. You know, well, I know exactly how I can get that child back. You know, but I don't want to divert myself to that way. So that's why I think overall, I think that's what maybe the city needs. A place where, you know, our loved ones been impacted by us, right? My daughter being impacted by me not being there. I left her at 15 months old, you know, and, you know, not only that, we also come out with the trauma ourselves, right? You know, PTSD is real. You know, thanks to my case manager, he's starting to pull me out a little bit at a time. You know, I couldn't go into crowded places. I couldn't be in this room, you know, because to me, it's too many people. I don't want you around me. But the struggles are there, you know. We need that therapy as well. And to be able to create that bond with our child, you know, because, you know, no human contact. There was no handshakes in prison, you know, other than the ones that we relate to. Some of them I did time with, you know, but it was for other reasons, right? And that lack of human contact still carries out outside, and we're trying to break those walls up. And I think that's overlong. That's what's needed, right? To be able to feel human again, right? Because we still reserve our feelings. Sometimes it's hard to speak them out. You know, I took some amount of groups in there to make it home, but overall, that human contact, that lack, it's, you know, hand embrace, kiss, it's hard. I feel that I can't just give it freely. So, I mean, services like that will be needed in the city for people that are coming home. You know, my ex-lifer, for ex-lifers, even long-term offenders. I think something where they can go to be able to work that out and be able to feel human is something that we need.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So that human connection, reducing the isolation and loneliness, right? And connecting again to people who can understand them, that's culturally affirming. We have to continue to say that over and over again, because now we're seeing that again. You know, with the ICE raids, with our Latino community being under siege, being kidnapped, chased down in the streets. You know, this just continues to bring trauma for us. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you today for being here, for showing up, for speaking. You guys are all brave. You know how Centro Cha feels about our house when people come there. That is your space. That will continue to be your space. But, you know, like it was said before, you know, it's going to take all of us, you know, to really change our communities, to, you know, support the next generation of our kids. And we're going to continue. We're going to be here. Centro Cha ain't going nowhere. That's for sure. But you always got to be the same. The next Centro Cha and your kids the next Centro Cha, right? But I want to thank the county for coming out. And thank you, Adam, so much, and your team for being here. I think you heard a lot, so I hope somebody was taking notes, right? Because you heard what Long Beach said, right? So this is for the books, from the LBC to the county, like what we need here, because, you know, we want things that are, you know, authentic, right? People could see when people are not authentic, they need to be meaningful, and they need to be trusted, right? So thank you. We appreciate you and your whole team. So thank you, everybody, for being here today, and we'll see you at Centro Cha.